In the world of modern warfare, you'd think everything is brand new. But some machines, well, they're almost immortal. They're like ghosts from another time, steel phantoms born in the fire of the Cold War. And yet, they're still out there, stalking the battlefields of today. They were built for a world that doesn't even exist anymore, but somehow, they just refuse to disappear.
It just doesn't feel like it should be possible, right? I mean, we live in an age of stealth fighters, hypersonic missiles, and AI-driven drones. So how can these absolute metal behemoths not only compete, but in many cases still dominate? It's a total paradox. So what's the secret? How have these old titans managed to cheat time itself?
To get to the bottom of this mystery, we're going to zoom in on two of the most legendary machines in military history. On the ground, we've got the relentless M1 Abrams tank, and up in the skies, the seemingly eternal B-52 Stratofortress. I promise you, their stories, well, they hold the key.
Okay, so, Section 1, an enduring blueprint. See, the first clue to their incredible survival isn't about what was added later on. Nope, it's about what they were from the very beginning. The whole secret starts with an original design that was so solid, so forward-thinking, it was basically built for a future it couldn't even see yet. I mean, just look at this. When the M1 Abrams first rolled out back in 1980, it wasn't just another tank. It was a complete revolution on tracks. A gas turbine engine and a 70-ton beast? Seriously? That gave it the shocking agility, like a Predator half its size. Its top-secret chop-'em armor could just shrug off hits that would obliterate other tanks, and its targeting system, a total quantum leap at accuracy. It didn't just join the game, it completely rewrote the rulebook.
And then you have this absolute giant of the skies. The B-52 was born when the jet age was, just finding its wings. Its whole purpose was brutally simple and, honestly, breathtakingly ambitious: to fly farther and carry more destruction than anything that had ever come before it. Period.
Just let this number sink in for a second. 9,000 miles without refueling. That's not just crossing an ocean, that's crossing entire continents. It meant that from the moment a B-52 took off, pretty much no corner of the globe was safe. This thing wasn't just an airplane, it was a statement of global power with wings.
And hey, if its range was its reach, this was its punch. 70,000 pounds of ordnance. Now, to carry that kind of weight, the B-52 had to be built like a flying anvil. I mean, incredibly strong, totally over-engineered, and just tough as nails. And it turns out that raw strength, that extra capacity, that would become the secret ingredient for its future.
All right, Section 2, upgrading the senses. So you've got this powerful frame, a really solid foundation, but in modern combat, muscle is totally useless without senses. So the next piece of this whole puzzle is about perception. It's about giving these old warriors new eyes, a whole new nervous system to navigate a world their original designers could never have even imagined.
To really get what I'm talking about, just look at this cockpit from another old-timer, the B-1 Lancer. On the left, it's this chaotic sea of dials and glowing green text. But on the right, whoa, it's a digital command center. The pilot goes from being an operator, just trying to decipher what the machine is telling them, to a commander who sees the entire battlefield laid out right in front of them, in full color. It's literally the difference between peeking through a keyhole and having a God's eye view.
And of course, the Abrams got this exact same digital soul transplant. Its thermal sights got upgraded so they could pierce through darkness, dust, and smoke like never before. But the real game changer? Networking. Now, each tank isn't out there fighting its own lonely battle. No, they're a wolf pack. They share a single consciousness, seeing the battlefield through each other's eyes in real time.
Okay, Section 3 is a stronger shield. A strong body and sharp senses are a fantastic start. But let's be real, the battlefield is a profoundly lethal place. To last for decades, you have to be able to take a punch, and the punches just keep getting stronger. This brings us right to that endless arms race between attack and defense, where the shield has to constantly evolve.
So the Abrams' original armor was the stuff of legend. It was this secret recipe that seemed invincible. But here's the thing. The enemy never stops innovating. New weapons came out, like shape charges designed to slice through steel like it's butter. Just piling on more armor wasn't the answer. The tank would just grind to a halt. The solution had to be way smarter. And this is where things get really clever. It's called reactive armor, And get this, instead of just taking a hit, it actually fights back. Imagine these little bricks on the tank are tiny, directional explosives. When an enemy round strikes one, it detonates outward. It creates this precision counterblast that shatters the incoming projectile, or just knocks it off course. It is literally a shield that explodes. You are fighting fire with fire.
Section 4. A sharper sword. Look, survival is one thing. Dominance is something else entirely. A shield is pretty useless without a sword, right? And to stay at the top of the food chain, the swords of these old warriors had to be completely reforged, transforming from simple bludgeons into these multi-purpose, precision instruments of war.
So for the B-52, that big transformation came in the form of this thing called the Common Strategic Rotary Launcher. The best way to think about it is this. The old B-52 was kind of like a shotgun. Super powerful, sure, but it only had one type of ammo for each mission. This new system? It's basically a revolver for bombs. Inside the plane, it rotates to bring different weapons to bear, letting the crew pick the perfect tool for any target right in the middle of a fight.
And you really can't overstate how huge that is. The B-52 went from being a blunt instrument, a carpet bomber, to a flying Swiss Army knife. Now, on a single mission, it can hunt bunkers, ships, and ground forces, adapting to the battle as it unfolds in real time. That's not just an upgrade, it's a complete and total reinvention.
So now we're at our conclusion. Evolve or disappear. When you pull all of these threads together, you've got the brilliant original design, the constantly upgraded senses, an evolving intelligent shield, and a reforged versatile sword. You end up with a single, powerful philosophy. This is it. This is the secret formula.
And here it is, the simple truth at the heart of this whole mystery. These machines aren't relics that have been preserved in amber. Not at all. They are living, breathing organisms of steel and wire that have survived for one simple reason. They have never, for a single moment, stopped evolving.
And get this, the process isn't slowing down. If anything, it's speeding up. The next chapter for the Abrams, the M1E3, is already being written. The whole focus is on making it lighter and more modular. They're essentially designing it from the ground up to make future evolution even faster and easier. They are hardwiring adaptability right into its soul.
Which leaves us with one final kind of haunting question. Can this just go on forever? I mean, is there a point where the original bones of the beast are just too old, where all the patches and all the upgrades simply can't keep up anymore? How long can you teach an old warrior new tricks before you finally need a new warrior? That right there is the question that's going to shadow these incredible machines as they continue to fight their way into the future.